Yeah, it was a great weekend, and I suppose just on that, Joe, like 100 years ago next Sunday was Gaelic Sunday, and it was a time when the GAA were supposed to seek written approval, we'll say, to play hurling games. And the GAA clubs got together, 2,000 clubs, and they said no. And they all got together. It was kind of a silent, kind of a peaceful protest at 3 o'clock on the Sunday 100 years ago. And they all played. The games went off. I think there was 54,000 players, over 100,000 spectators. That was 100 years ago. And look at the games we had last Sunday, the crowds that were at it. But one thing I would say, Joe, is we were all looking at Dahi there. He was great on the game the other night, that great documentary. And how wonderful it was looking back at that. There was a guy on that from our own club, Dick of the Church, and he was 100 last March. So 100 years doesn't be long gone. Like, we have a guy there that has lived through it. We need to be very, very careful. That game we had the 2 games we had last weekend were wonderful. But if we stay going, Joe, with the club structures that we have at the moment, right around the country, and you can bring up the stats, and I'm not blaming anyone, I blame myself, I'm a club man, I blame everyone, county boards, the GAA themselves, we're all the one on this. But we need to sort out the clubs, because the last year anyway has been terrible, like, as regards, you don't know when you're playing, you don't know what's going on. I know there was new structure, so that's fair enough. We now know what's happening. But I would be a little bit worried, Joe, in that we're talking about giving lads breaks and maybe extending back out the All-Irelands to September. No problem. But let's remember, the GAA communities, the communities now in our parishes, Joe, are revolving around the GAA. That's what makes Ireland what it is. Like, you know, one time it was mass, or you go to the creameries and you go to, you know, maybe down at the local shop. But now with television and all this, it's really only with, say, sport. And in Ireland, it's the GAA. So I would say there's a word of warning out there that if we want what we had last weekend, which was brilliant, and we're all raving about it, in 100 years' time, well then, let's look after the clubs.